Brighten up those already bright mornings. Wheeler, Ollie, and Lecter. Mornings at the Cabin.
Mornings at the Cabin, indeed. It's Wednesday morning with Wheeler and Lecter. Ollie is skulking around the rest of the studio as he is wont to do.
I think he's staying put.
He skulks.
One spot.
One spot?
Yeah.
No skulk?
No skulking, yeah.
All right.
No.
That was a bit of a Seinfeld thing. No skulk? Not a skulker.
Hate the skulk.
Hate the skulk. You're not going to skulk. This is the summer of skulk.
This skulking is making me thirsty.
It would. All hunched over. I imagine with skulking, there's a lot of heavy breathing.
Yeah, you're kind of collapsing in on your lungs.
Yeah, that's right.
You're hunching and skulking.
That's what it is.
I get you.
That's how they get you. Wheeler and Lecter are going to be hanging out with you on this Wednesday morning. We've decided, and we'll get into this a little bit later, that on Friday at 8 a.m., we will be producing the horrible, no good, terrible music hour. We've been talking about it. We've admonished people. And now it's time to take a deep dive into the worst music ever made.
Here's my question.
Yes.
Why 8 a.m.? Why not just do the whole morning show?
Because you have guests. We don't want them to come at 7.
Who are our guests?
Shannon and Jay Bear.
They can come at 7.
They can, but I don't want to make Shannon get up at 7.
Okay, but we can start at 7.
We can start at 7.
Horrible music.
Okay.
And they can join us.
Well, I don't want to play it for 2 hours also. I mean, it's better if it's an hour. Like, here's the thing. And I know you don't want to hear this. The 90s at 9 is a great show. If it was longer than an hour, I'd cut my wrists.
Well, it wouldn't be the 90s at 9 if it was
No, it would be the 90s all the time.
That would be just asinine.
Well, if you go on Sirius Satellite Radio, you have the 90s on 9.
Yeah, that's
it
stupid.
Is just a
satellite radio is
dumpster fire.
Mornings at the Cabin, the podcast.
Now, I don't hate the Doors per se. I just... Anyway, on Friday, we're planning on doing it. We've been talking about this for about a week. Well, not a week. It's been... When did Jay Bear play The Reason? Friday?
Friday. Yeah.
And then Shannon...
Thursday.
Thursday.
Yes.
And then Shannon on Monday played I'm an Adult Now.
Yes.
Now, we've admonished both of them.
Yes.
Jay has retracted his song choice and issued an apology.
Graciously.
Shannon doubled down and said, you guys are all jerks.
Somehow thanked us at the same time.
Yeah. Thanks for having me on to let me say my piece, basically.
Yeah.
So we came up with the idea, and it's not some kind of groundbreaking idea. We just think it's funny. On Friday morning, 8 o'clock, 8 to 9, we'll be doing the horrible, no good, terrible music hour.
Yes.
We are going to take all of our most hated songs and play them. And what we just talked about, and what we were talking about last night in our group chat, and Shannon brought this up because we were all just gung-ho. It's like, yeah, let's play music we hate. That's hilarious. But Shannon was like, I don't want to be a music snob. I don't want to tell people that, like, the song that they love sucks.
Yeah.
And absolutely. We don't want to do that either.
And because she's already a music snob.
Exactly.
She doesn't want
absolutely
to
is.
double
If you listen
down
to her
on
show,
that.
which I don't, because I'm at work. It's not because I don't want to. Then you know that she's got her tastes.
Yeah.
And she's
an unabashed music snob.
Music snob.
But she focuses on the stuff she likes.
That's right.
Yeah.
She's a very positive person.
Absolutely.
And I am not. And we're not. Well, we kind of are.
I'm relatively
positive
for the most part.
You're a misanthrope.
A misanthrope?
A misanthrope just kind of gilded with smiley, happy-go-lucky nonsense.
Google misanthrope. Person who dislikes humankind and avoids human society.
I think we're all a little misanthropic.
Can you blame me?
Can you blame me? So on Friday, we would like to do this. We're going to have Jay Bear on. We're going to have Shannon in. And we're going to pick our top 3, like, kind of hated songs. And we're going to play them. Yeah. And the idea that just came out of the chat that we just had, that you said, was that, like, instead of doing what Shannon doesn't want to do, which is, like, just telling people that the music they like sucks, which is not great.
Right.
We tell them why we hate the song.
Yes.
And it could be any number of associations. It may not be like, well, I don't find the composition or how it's put together or blah, blah, blah.
Right.
It could be like, it's tied to a crap memory. Like, I remember listening to this song on a road trip because there was only one CD and the radio didn't work.
Right.
And like, I listened to these 10 songs 80 times or something like that. Or you hear them every day in your car because the radio does work.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, someone's not playing different music every day.
Or it just makes you sad.
Just makes you
for
sad.
whatever reason or something.
Sad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You never know.
So stuff like that. Yeah. And so we're going to do that on Friday morning. We'd like you to come along on this journey with us. Now, Lecter's totally against this. He doesn't give a crap what you people think. I do. I want to hear from you. I want to hear what your least favorite song is. But here's the kicker. Give us a reason. Give us the story around why you hate that song. Because it could be like, I know people that hate the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald.
Monsters.
Now, those people are buried under my house.
Stupid people.
Yeah, they're terrible people. Terrible, horrible people.
Not Canadians.
Not Canadians. And not lovers of, like, great lyrics and poetic guitar playing.
That's fine if that's not what you're into.
I mean, if you're not into good music, that's fine. It was funny last night, though, when we were on the group chat, and AJ's like,
what did he
He's the
say?
nicest guy. He's the nicest guy. And what he said, though, was just like, it was, and I don't think he meant anything by it. He probably did, because he's got a great sense of humor, too. He's like, I'm going to have to listen to a bunch of crap before Friday in order to pick something. It's like, this is the biggest eye roll ever. It's like, ugh, AJ, we get it. You've got great taste in music.
And you only listen to the best.
Only listen to the best.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm going to be hard-pressed to come up with 3 songs that are terrible. Like, give me a break.
No, I mean, everyone's got at least 3 songs that they dislike. And here's the beauty of this bit, is that music, as we all know, is subjective.
Mm-hmm.
What I might like, you definitely hate. What AJ likes, we're like, what is that crap?
What is that? I've never even heard of that.
What
hipster
guy,
you?
What Shannon might like, we're just like, it's pretty good, but I never want to hear it again. It changes. Musical taste changes from person to person.
Of course.
So anything that we may have in our top, 3 or whatever we decide to do, our top 3 most personally hated songs.
Yeah.
Probably the majority of people listening actually really like those songs. I could think of like one off the top of my head. Paul Simon, You Call Me Al.
A lot of people hate that song.
People love that song.
A lot of people hate that song.
A lot of people hate it? I actually thought I was the only one. You can like kind of get behind it, but you're like, you can also not.
At
you're
the same
kind of
time,
on the
I'm
fence.
like,
yeah, you're the most on the fence I've ever seen about that
You
song.
Can Call Me Out?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I hate it.
It's middling Paul Simon.
And
basically.
I'm sure as I said that, someone at home listening is like, what?
Someone named Al is like, Lecter's a jerk. I'm Al.
And you can call me that. Anyway.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. So there's going to be songs that, and there's going to be songs that people love that we hate, and there's going to be songs that they hate that we love.
So it's fun. It makes it still a cohesive radio show, but it's a little twist on it.
Oh, good.
Shannon tried to hold the bit hostage.
Yeah, she tried to shan it up.
Chat last night. She was like, audience participation, or I'm out.
Yeah.
And I was like,
and we kowtowed to her demands.
I kind of then just tried to make her look like the bad guy. Tried to throw a little.
It's super easy.
Yeah. Anyway,
you love throwing people under the bus.
I do.
You love it.
It's fun.
It's like you see a bus and you're like, oh man, it'd be so cool if someone was under that.
Well, here we go.
We are off the curb under the bus.
It's just always buses driving around.
That's
so
right.
many opportunities.
Plenty of buses and plenty of people.
But here's the thing. Audience participation, I'm never opposed to. No. But in this particular bit,
it's tough.
I don't know that it makes sense because effectively, Jason Melanson, probably listening at home right now, probably has a few songs that he hates. If he sends in a song that he hates, we're going to play that song.
Yeah.
Why would you request a song that you don't want to hear?
Because you want to participate. You want to share your story about why you hate the song.
Okay.
I think that's the thing. And we have to remember, there are 4 people listening to this show. So if we throw out this request, we might get 1.
Well, 12. That math.
I'm not even sure Kim G listens to this.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Sam Stewart told me she doesn't listen anymore.
Why not?
I don't know.
What the hell?
Yeah, she just jumped off ship.
Yeah, well, fair enough.
Yeah. We got to be funnier, I guess.
I guess, or
maybe stop being so negative.
Less annoying.
Maybe stop being such misanthropes.
Misanthropes. Well, I mean, it's this is more fun than doing like, here's an hour of music we just love. Like,
Yeah, that's boring.
That's boring.
Yeah, we do that every day.
That's right. We play the music we love. We picked all this stuff.
That's right.
Yeah. Now, there's some stuff that we've picked because of the royal we. It's all of us.
Yes.
Wait. That I don't
The
like.
royal we?
Well, the royal, like we as in like cabin radio.
Oh.
Because we've all selected songs for this, including the volunteer hosts who come in and we drop some of their songs into our playlist.
Yeah.
And there's some stuff there that I don't like.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Neil Diamond?
Yeah. Yeah.
To narrow it down.
To narrow it down to Neil Diamond. Almost anything Neil Diamond. For whatever reason. Anyway, Friday, 8 o'clock. The Horrible, No Good, Terrible Music Hour with Jay Bear and Shannon. And you, if you want to send us in a song that you really hate, but with a story behind it, let us know. Don't just say, it's annoying. Say why it's annoying.
And we'll play it for you.
We'll play it for you. We can't wait.
Mornings at the Cabin, the podcast where we cut out all the great music and you're left with the rest.
Yellowknife businesses are joining the Big Spend. What is the Big Spend, you ask? Well, let me tell you.
I was about to ask that.
Yellowknife Chamber of Commerce has registered businesses in the city for a one-day national shopping event designed to promote local spending. Obviously, a lot of local businesses, small businesses, have been feeling the pinch of this whole so-called pandemic.
Right.
Not so-called at all.
Right.
It's a pandemic.
It is.
And a lot of small businesses in town have had their feathers ruffled by seemingly not getting any assistance from the government.
Serial feather rufflers.
That's right. They've been
the
ruffled.
The
government not giving enough support to small businesses here in town. You see it a lot on Facebook, and obviously, but some places have closed down.
Yeah.
So the Big Spend is kind of meant to get people to buy local.
Stimulate that economy.
Simple as that. Aims to generate $100 million in spending to benefit local economies across Canada. Shopping local and supporting local business. This is a practical step we can all take as part of a larger action plan for economic recovery in Canada. Says Tim Sire. Is it Sire or Sear?
How's it spelled?
S-Y-E-R.
Oh, that could go either way.
Well, see, my middle name is Sear, and it's spelled C-Y-R.
Yeah.
So, Tim, president of the Yellowknife Chamber, I feel like I should know this, but I've never met the man.
We could just say it in a really regal way. Tim Sire.
Tim Sire, president of Yellowknife Chamber of, quote, I went from English to
Nonsense.
Southern Sheriff. The Yellowknife Chamber was quoted as saying, after struggling through months and months,
the molasses
decreased sales.
Just started spilling out.
You know what? This is pretty serious. After struggling through months of decreased sales, unpredictable labor challenges, and complex regulatory and compliance rules, to say the least, Yellowknife businesses have demonstrated their resilience.
Yes.
And they have. And, I mean, we've been telling people to do this. I know I've been doing, go get, whatever you can get.
Right.
Order from places that aren't open.
Yeah.
Or gift certificates, order online, whatever you can do takeout, whatever you can do to support these businesses in this time.
Time to start tipping better.
Yeah.
All that good stuff.
Apparently, see, I'm a pretty generous tipper.
Yeah.
And then the other day, I saw a meme. So like, I'm like a $15 on a like $50 bill type of guy.
What percentage is that?
I don't know. Like
probably
a lot.
good.
It's a bunch. It's over 20%.
Okay.
You know, depending on the experience.
Yeah. I don't even think about dollar amount anymore. Now that they have the percentages in the
I don't do that.
debit machines, I just hit percentage,
I don't
blah,
let
whatever.
the machine do it. I try to do a nice round number so they can cash out easier.
But you pull out your little pocket calculator?
No, I just do a round number so they can tip out easier. I think it's easier, isn't it? It is. Don't do that. Don't do that, because if it's the bill, if it's like say $47.50 or $47.59 or whatever, so you put the 20% in there.
Give them a $2.50.
$2.50. That's right. That's right. Just even it out. Not an even number. Like not an even number. I don't add it up to an even number.
Right. Not to the nearest.
No. It's like if it's $47.59, I give like $10. Like the tip is always a round number.
Right.
It makes tipping out easier. At least it did back in my serving days. Maybe servers now are like, what an idiot. But I think it makes tipping out a little easier.
You're probably right.
Anyway. But then I read a meme that's saying if you're not tipping like 50% while you're going out and people are putting their lives at risk, you're a jerk.
That's a bit much.
That's a bit much, right?
Yeah.
Especially in Yellowknife. Like I feel like we've got it pretty under control. But like if you were going out in like Toronto or Edmonton or something like that, where it's a little bit more, then yeah. So I felt bad.
50%?
Yeah.
Holy. I mean, if that's what you wanted, if you want to tip 50%,
go for it.
I'm not going to run across the room because it's illegal.
Absolutely.
Get in your face, start screaming moistly at you, saying, "What are you doing?
What are you
50% tip? It's going to make us all look bad."
Anyway,
I'm not going to do that.
This is our way of tipping big to local businesses. So the people behind this, the Canadian nonprofit behind the initiative called Leading Influence, will be mapping spending across the country. It is a registered Canadian charity. Jeez.
You said that with a really weird smile on your face.
I know.
Registered Canadian charity.
This is a weird one. It is a registered Canadian charity that prays for elected leaders in 6 provinces in Canada. That might be a typo.
Odd word choiceage.
That might be a typo. That prays for them?
Preys on them.
That preys on elected leaders. Listen, we know your wife goes after work, and we know where your kids are taken care of. So, I mean, if you don't want to help local business,
and
something might happen to your kids.
Your last tip was like 18% at best.
Who the hell do you think you are?
Not helping that economy, mister.
So what they want you to do, if you go to thebigspend.com, purchase at a small local business and record it on the website so they can keep track.
Okay.
So there you go.
Yeah.
So now's the time. The July 25th is the day of the big spend. So if you're in town and you're looking to help out a local business and help out this initiative in general and, get some real good advertising out there for Leading Influence.
Yeah.
That preys on leaders in territories.
Right.
Then it's a good excuse to get out there and support local business.
Yeah, I would love to see just like just a simple little amendment where if someone tries to buy something off Amazon and then puts it into that website,
you sure you want to do that?
Some kind of like ejector seat, type of
just like a message like, you sure you don't want to support a local business?
Yeah, you think that's helping people?
Do you think that's going to help somebody? You just made Jeff Bezos that much more everything and like. Everything you order off of Amazon makes him richer and puts people in those warehouses at risk.
Yeah. If
everything you order.
Some kind of like spring-loaded giant hand that could pop out and just slap you across the face. Yeah, that would be perfect.
Now, okay, that's not for everything because there are things that you can't get here. And on Amazon, you got to, I'm just not all for supporting Amazon. What are you going to do?
I mean, and there's, a lot of them aren't things you need. From Amazon.
Tell me what I need.
I'm not going to tell you how to live your life.
I'm a Wish shopper. Don't tell me what I need from Amazon.
There is no need.
Everything Wish. That's the thing about Wish. It's like everything they show you is like no one needs that ever. But here we are.
And probably shouldn't even want it. But
no,
here
probably
we are,
not. There's a couple of things on there where it's like, where do you stick that thing and what does it do? Interesting.
Huh.
July 25th, the big spend, the Yellowknife Chamber of Commerce wants you to get out there and support local business. Come on. We all push in the same direction. Maybe at some point, the NWT will have an economy.
The Mornings at the Cabin podcast was recorded before a sort of live, thankfully not in the studio, audience.
Lecter was asking me if I was recording the show. Yes, I am. Ollie did it before I got here. Because I always forget. That's what happens sometimes. Back to you on your Wednesday morning. Having a little hangout as we do every morning here at Mornings at the Cabin. I want to talk to you about the Edmonton Football Club, which we renamed last year the Edmonton River Jacks. And they're here to jack you. So we've already got a name for them. So obviously the pressure has mounted. This has been something that's been brought up for years and years and years from people wanting them to change the name. Right? So now the pressure is mounted. The Washington Redskins are changing their name and they're abandoning their logo. There's going to be pressure on the Cleveland Indians. There's pressure on the Chicago Blackhawks. Pressure right now seems to be squarely focused on the Edmonton Eskimos and their so-called consultation with the Inuit communities, they keep saying. They've actually seen Inuits community in some of these posts. The disconnect for some people is pretty palpable. Like I said before, a couple of friends of the show have been on this every day to kind of share what's been coming out of the Edmonton Football Club's camp. And the other day, they released a survey. they released a survey as part of their consultation process in engaging the community and what they think should be done with the name. Mm-hmm. Now, they sent this out to all their season ticket holders, and it was open to the public.
Right.
Which is fine, but sending it out to season ticket holders especially, that makes it sort of irrelevant. This shouldn't be this actually shouldn't be a survey that's kind of open to anyone other than people in the Inuit community.
Yeah.
That's how it should be.
Yeah.
Right? So the consultation should be with them and them alone. That should be it.
Yeah. And I mean, we talked about this, I think like last week.
We did.
And, we made a few jokes, of course, about like what that consultation actually looked like last year when, I think they came up here. I think some team representatives went up to Inuvik. I think there was conversations with leaders in Iqaluit and probably Whitehorse too, or somewhere in the Yukon. I'm not actually sure, but across the three territories, they did go on like a little consultation tour. Yeah. We don't know. They didn't necessarily disclose what came out of those, but
they did not.
But what they said was that there was no consensus either way that the name. It wasn't 100% one way, wasn't 100% the other way. So their resolution was that they were going to keep the name.
That means you change it. If there's no consensus, that means you change it.
Yeah.
That means you haven't proven that it's good. So change it.
Right. But their mentality was that it also hasn't been necessarily proven that it's bad.
Yeah.
So.
And whoever they met with, maybe some of them support it.
Yeah.
There have been a lot of older folks in the community who have said, like, listen, like, I've grown up with this. Like we mentioned it before, with Tutu, he mentioned that, like, this is not how I identify, but this is how my grandfather identified and how my father identified. For them, it was a point of pride. Mm-hmm. It's not a reason not to change the name.
Right.
I don't identify that way.
Yeah.
I identify this way. It's not a reason not to change the name because I'm not offended by it.
Right.
So, former MLAs, former people, and older people, elders out of the community saying, like, listen, I don't find this offensive. That's not a reason not to change it.
No.
Because there are plenty of people, younger people, that are like, no, I don't like this tokenism. I don't like our culture being used as a mascot. This may have been what representation looked like to you back in the 60s, back in the day. Right. It doesn't look like that now. So let's change it.
Well, and at the end of the day, what you hear a lot from people who, didn't like Colin Kaepernick's protest, don't like the whole, didn't like the idea that the Washington Redskins needed to change their name, which is ridiculous because it's the most racist name in the history of team sports names. Yep. And usually what you hear is they say, I don't want to think about politics when I'm watching sports.
Too bad.
I want to watch sports and escape that. Is that too much to ask? Well, you know what? Here's a real easy way to potentially move towards that.
Yep.
You take these controversial names.
Yep.
Maybe they're not controversial to you, but they're controversial to someone. And there's no need for a sports team name to be controversial to anyone.
Not at all.
So you remove the controversy.
There you go.
You change the name to something that's uncontroversial. Bam. Politics out of sports.
Well, and guess what? Sports is always going to be political because it is. Oh, what does sports have? Human beings that deserve respect, that need equality, that are going to stand up for justice, they're going to stand up for wrongs that they see, and because they have a platform, they're going to get more attention.
Yeah,
right.
Although we're moving away from that, I mean, marbles have really taken over.
Marbles have really taken
over, and one day, perhaps cyborgs of some kind can play our pro sports for us.
Oh yeah,
and we can just watch and not have to damage our bodies.
That's right.
And get the same enjoyment out of it.
Then we're going to have a bunch of people advocating for robots, which will be fine too.
I just want to watch a sports game, Jesse.
Without thinking about the lives of robots,
cyborg rights.
But I mean, there are people who don't want it to be political. Too bad it is, because it contains human beings, and human beings are because they're going to express their opinions. And then you have people who are just average, and I'm sorry to say, average white folks who are just like, well, it doesn't offend me, so they shouldn't change it. It's like, that doesn't matter.
Right.
It doesn't matter that it doesn't offend you. It's not about you. They're not the Edmonton Caucasians.
Yeah.
Shirt. So it doesn't have anything to do with you. So your opinion is it doesn't matter.
It's irrelevant.
It's irrelevant.
Absolutely.
Exactly. Which leads us to the survey that the Edmonton Eskimos and Abacus Data Incorporated sent out the other day.
Speaking of irrelevance, here we go.
Horrible irrelevance.
Irrelevance.
Irrelevance. What did I say?
Irrelevance.
Oh, irrelevance.
That sounded good.
My words are gumbled. Gumbled. So they sent this out. Now they sent it to all. Like I said, they sent it to all the season ticket holders. Again, their opinions for the most part probably don't matter. And they put it out there for about. It seems like they had it out for less than 24 hours. Okay,
right.
So I wanted to go through the questions on this. The first one off the bat is already irrelevant. How many Edmonton Eskimos games have you attended in the last 3 years? 0, 1 to 8, 9 to 19, more than 20, or all the games I don't attend as a fan?
I wanted to make one, but I just couldn't do it.
0. Although, I mean, I will say this: the CFL as a ticket, super cheap.
Oh yeah,
like a $20 ticket.
Yeah.
Second, do you believe that when the name was originally chosen, the intent was to be disrespectful of Inuit or Indigenous people? Yes or no?
I mean,
also
I would assume no, but none of us were around then during those conversations.
Well, I mean, a buddy of mine actually posted on that picture itself, quote, do you believe that when the name was chosen, most Canadians gave two about offending Indigenous people?
No.
That's what the question should actually be, because it was picked over 100 years ago, as they say later in this survey.
Yeah.
Do you think they actually cared if they hurt them or not?
No.
So it doesn't matter what your intent was. You didn't care.
No.
3, thinking about how the term comes across today, would you say that it is disrespectful of Inuit and Indigenous people? It's not a yes or no. It's certainly, probably, might be, probably not, certainly not. Again, for most of the people that this goes out to, your opinion is not relevant here.
Right.
4, whose opinions would you say are most influential? This is a great one. Whose opinions would you say are most influential in shaping your thoughts about changing the name? Check all that apply. Fans of the team, sponsors or advertisers, the media, football fans, Inuit or Indigenous people, just right there above other.
I just want to know inside that the sponsors and advertisers are happy.
Yeah, that's all I want to know.
That's
and you know
all
what?
I want to know.
Here's the great thing about that your love of sponsorships. They're not happy. They're actually telling the Edmonton Football Club to change their name.
Well, then, I mean,
and once again,
open and shut case.
We have the perfect name.
Yeah.
The River Dracks. Whose opinion would you say is most influential? Like, again, your opinion is irrelevant to this on whose opinion you think is right. Because, I mean, other is probably just going to be like, well, my opinion's the most relevant.
Yeah.
I'm a fan.
Well, of course.
If the team were to stick with the current name, the Eskimos, would that have any impact on your support for the team in terms of attending games? This one's pretty telling. 1, no impact. A lot less likely to support the team in the future. A bit less likely to support the team in the future. This system for grading responses, where it's like a bit, certainly, a little bit.
Yeah.
Not for this question.
Nah.
Not for this question at all. In the last 2, a bit more likely to support the team in the future. Great.
Yeah.
Or a lot more likely to support the team. Listen, if they keep this racist-ass name, I'm going to support them even harder.
I'm going to actually buy season tickets.
Yeah.
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 What do you think of that?
And someone responded to this on this post. This question sucks. And they basically rewrote the question. Is the Eskimos a great name, or is it the greatest name? It's perfect. Please indicate if you agree or disagree with the following. I really believe the Eskimos name is a sign of the respect for Inuit or Indigenous people. Strongly disagree. I'm not sure there's a lot of difference between those two.
Yeah.
Agree or strongly agree.
Either agree or you disagree.
Yeah.
And if you agree, that's maybe problematic.
As much as those ones, we could have fun with some of those ones.
Yeah.
This one is irrelevant, ridiculous, and also like whistle, like what's dog whistling, right?
Okay.
So like,
I'll do my best to have fun with it, but I can't promise anything.
Please indicate if you agree or disagree with the following. I think there's too much cancel culture today. What the F kind of question is that? Strongly disagree, agree, or strongly agree. So if you agree that there's too much cancel culture, what bearing does that have on whether or not this name is appropriate to have?
And here's the thing. No one's canceling the
canceling
name.
Anything.
They're changing
the name. That's not canceling, and the Edmonton Football Club will not be canceled. They're not going to go under.
No.
They're just going to change the name.
Yeah, it's not like music on cabin radio that gets canceled.
And that's the thing that I don't understand. Even if it wasn't a controversial name and the name was changed, what do you care? Who cares? It's still the same team.
And here's another thing. With regards to the Edmonton Football Club in particular, whereas with the Washington Redskins, you have the crest, you have the name.
Yeah.
It all needs to be changed.
Yes.
With the Edmonton Eskimos, the enigmatic...
Pick another E name.
It's been, the crest has been the double E.
Double E.
For years and years, as long as anyone can remember, it's been the double E. Pick a different word that starts with E, and you don't even have to change the crest.
The Edmonton Endeavors.
You don't even have to change the mascot because it's a polar bear.
The Edmonton E-Towners.
It could not be easier.
The Edmonton Evers. That's not that. That won't be good.
Everest.
Everest.
We're a mountain of a team.
You'll never get up us. We leave dead bodies in our wake.
It's easier than any other team name.
Here's a question.
To change.
Exactly, because you don't have to change the crest.
No.
There's nothing offensive about the crest.
The Edmonton Eagles.
The Edmonton Eagles. Perfect.
We can make eagle puns.
Eagle puns. There you go. Or the Edmonton River Jacks.
Then you got ER.
That's right, ER.
Oh, into the
then you're a whole
room.
another thing. The cancel culture one is so ridiculous.
Yeah.
That has no bearing on what's going on right now.
Nope.
This is not cancel culture. This is something that's been fought against for decades. Like the Redskins' name's been fought against for decades. This isn't cancel culture. This is accountability culture. This is people finally going, yeah, you know what? Nah, not anymore.
It's a cop-out argument.
Yeah, it is.
That's what it is.
It is. And it's the cherry on top of a crap sundae that is this survey. And then the last one is almost right up there with it, and in how just terribly irrelevant it is. And we've said that a lot. Irrelevant. If it were up to you today, would you change the name of the Washington Redskins team or keep the name? Again, we're not talking about that. Also, it's going to be changed. It was announced this week.
Yeah, that's a done deal.
That's completely irrelevant. Change the name or keep the name are the two choices. So. Well done, Edmonton Football Club and Abacus Data Incorporated. You've created probably the crappiest survey in the history of surveys. I love that one, though. Do you think the Edmonton Eskimos is a great name or the greatest name? Good Lord.
Maybe in the future, Edmonton, stick to supposed community consultation that we're not actually sure is happening or not.
Yeah.
And get away from the surveys. Not your forte.
They did ask one more about the Chicago Blackhawks. Should they keep the name or change the name? Doesn't matter.
Also irrelevant.
Doesn't matter right now because we're not talking about that. We're talking about you.
Yeah.
So there you go. A question, return question for a survey for them. Do you care that your name is racist? Yes or no?
Yeah, a little bit.
And strongly care. A little bit care. Don't care. Don't care that the name is racist.
Or other.
The Mornings at the Cabin podcast.
Finishing off Mornings at the Cabin for another day, but with the news that the U.S., startlingly, has not handled this whole thing well, and because they've done everything wrong, it continues to go wrong for them. California is shutting down once again. It shut down at the beginning of March, or in the middle of March, reopened, and is now shutting down again. But they're doing a great job. Everyone's doing a great job. Everybody's handling it well. We're handling this well. It's all going to disappear in the next couple of days. Florida also getting massively hit with the biggest uptick in new cases since this whole thing began, with 15,000 new cases just a couple of days ago. So with that, though, Disney World opened on Monday, and they saw a spike of, I think, 953 new cases tied to Disney World, is what I read this morning, which is insane.
Good Lord.
So we've posted up a little video on our Mornings at the Cabin Facebook page that you can check out. We did not make this video, but it is damn funny. Basically, it's a reworking of the Disney World ad that they released saying, hey, everything's fine. Come and join us. Let's start turning the corner of this whole pandemic thing.
Mm-hmm. It's time to come home.
Let's go back to, yes, it's time to come home. Let's get back to a world of make-believe and fun and sun. I mean, that message is great, right? Let's figure out how to do this, but do it safely.
Yeah.
And get back to having some fun.
I think everyone can get behind that in theory.
Absolutely. And so you were required to wear a mask, I think, at Disney World. Now, I kind of read that in passing, the new cases from Disney World. So let me just look it up real quick and we can talk about Disney World. Have you been to Disney World?
I've never been. No.
It is a magical place.
It's on the it was on the radar. I can't say that it's really on the radar right now, at least not in the short term. As I think you know, my sister lives in Orlando.
Yes.
So there is a pretty built-in opportunity to, number one, go visit her, and two, see Universal Studios, Disney World, all that good stuff.
Yeah.
Gonna hold off for a bit. Yeah. Even beyond when we return here, we'd have to isolate for 2 weeks. I just feel like it's, not a good time. And I can't imagine, for the record on this topic, how the entire collective of NBA players are feling. Heading on in there.
Get in there.
No escape.
Get us some basketball.
Gotta finish that playoff.
Gotta do it. Well, they're gonna do like 8 more games or 10 more games and then playoff. None of this is gonna happen. I don't think the NHL playoffs are gonna happen either. Austin Matthews tested positive for COVID-19.
Yeah, but he's okay now.
He's okay now.
Yeah.
I don't see it happening. Okay, I can't find anything about the spike. Someone posted that on Facebook. I should not read what I see on Facebook, but that's kind of what's expected. Walt Disney World opening, because people wear masks only for the shortest amount of time possible.
Right.
Like, as soon as they're able to take them off, even a little bit, they will.
Yeah.
Because it's so uncomfortable. And I mean...
It is.
Yep. It is. But you know what's more uncomfortable? Having being intubated and having a ventilator stuffed in your throat. So, there it is. But, so it only opened 2 of its parks, right? Disney World, because there's 4 parks at Disney World. So it only opened 2. And they were going to keep Disneyland Hong Kong closed as well.
Okay. Yeah.
It was going to reopen, but now it's closing.
Right.
So it's already, like, Hong Kong's kind of gone through this. About a month ago, they started reopening theaters. 2 days later, they're like, nope, done.
And they just shut it back
Shut everything down, and that's kind of what's happening again. Reopening a little too soon, and, you try to be hopeful. Again, this is something that nobody's ever really gone through in this lifetime. So, I mean, you got to kind of give them a little bit of, benefit of the doubt. But there it is.
I feel like this is a good time to end off with a few classic Florida Man headlines.
Giver.
From July 15th, 2018. A 71-year-old Florida man tied a gun to a weather balloon to fake his own murder, police say.
Why? How would that... What?
I don't know if that needs elaboration.
Okay.
There you go, from July 15th, 2019, a year later. Florida man caught hiding crack, heroin, cocaine in his buttocks after traffic stop. That's a pretty standard one.
I mean, that could happen anyway.
That really could, yeah. It's probably happening at Edmonton right now.
Rain Street, Friday night. It happens. You gotta stuff,
they didn't get the ecstasy in
You
there.
got to stuff that heroin and crack somewhere. It's not going to be in your glove box. It's going to be in your
just careless.
Be in your butt box.
That's right.
Okay, one more.
Oh, that's all I got. I only looked up 2.
All right, look up another one. For God's sake.
God. The things you put me through on this show.
Disney World opening up, we are reading off some from Florida Man headlines to finish off the show.
Let's go. July 15th, 2017.
Yes.
Way back. Sure, something happened.
I mean, that was a simpler time 3 years ago.
It was. Where do we go here? 2015, the best Florida Man headlines. Well, July 16th, 2017.
Yes.
Florida man survives crash when piece of scrap metal falls on van.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Well, I mean, he didn't really cause that. So.
No, that was not Florida man's fault at all. Florida man just tried to go about his day, has what appears to be some kind of turbine, perhaps, fell on his car, and he survived.
Great.
His name, Jesus Armando Escobar.
Fair enough. Thank you, Jesus. Disney World opened up after 4 months of being closed amid, like, a surge, the biggest surge in this entire pandemic in the U.S., in Florida. 15,000 new cases, and Disney World's like, let's open those doors.
Let's get it
done.
Yeah,
it's time.
Seems like
got to get back to the fun.
Yeah, that's right.
So, I mean, I guess we'll wait and see what happens in Disney World, but I expect that they will probably be closing again very soon. All right, that's going to do it again for Mornings at the Cabin for this Wednesday morning. Hump Day is done. Tomorrow is Teen Burger Thursday. Cannot wait for Teen Burger Thursday. Talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening. Check out more from the show at cabinradio.ca and by following the Mornings at the Cabin Facebook page.